Hello, everyone, and welcome to, what is it, the ninth episode of OMG Craft. My name is Chad Johnson, OMG Chad, known around the internet. Thank you for joining us on this very awesome episode. This episode, we're going to get in some news, then we're going to cover rail. We're making trains on this episode. Trains! So hope you enjoy it. And then we have my top 3 picks at the very end of the show. So let's get straight into news without even slowing down just a bit. This week in the Snapshot, some really cool stuff. Owners of capes, people who if you've ever seen someone who wears a cape, it's because they went to Minecon or they work in Mojang. Or, oh, by the way, results are in. Sorry to slow down just a little bit. Results are in. Mojang is how I'm going to say the name of the company that makes Minecraft. Not Mojang, even though that's the way they say it in Argentina, where they're from. I forget that country, Czechoslovakia, wherever Minecraft is made. So, Mojang, the American way to say it. Apparently, we have a lot of American viewers, so Mojang is what we're doing. So, people who work at Mojang get capes, and anyone who's ever had a cape, now there is an option in the Snapshot to hide your cape from other users, which is exciting. Also, creepers now the blast radius of a creeper can be edited in the NBT tag of the creeper. So if you have, say, an MC edit filter that allows all the creepers to explode 50 times larger than they do, hooray! Now all your creepers are super powered and they can really, really cause some havoc. You'll most likely see this really only in adventure maps or maps created by humans, not really created by the game. Unless if maybe the game has variable creeper explosions. So you don't know, maybe a creeper, how cool would it be if you come across a creeper, you expect him to cause massive damage, and then poof, and he just doesn't, he's just a dud creeper. That'd be cool. So anyway, now that can be edited using the NBT tags. Also, F3, which has always been able to show you stats on how the game is running, what block level you're at, which way you're facing. If you hold down F3 and F let's roll back. F3 and H will allow you to show the armor durability in whenever you hover over armor. So this looks like this, and you can see the durability is clearly marked in numbers instead of a sliding bar. Apparently wooden pickaxes have 53 durability at full health, and this one right now is at 49. Really, really useful. And that is one slow fade. Let's change that to be that. And also, when you're in the F3 mode, the normal one, if you look at the F, which is the way that you're facing, it now actually has a word, where before it would just show you a number, where 0 was north and things like that. Now it actually shows you east. So here, if you really look closely, you can see that F3, if the value is 3, then it was east before, but now it actually shows you words, so you can easily tell which direction that you're facing. I really, really like that feature because my brain doesn't work in numbers, and so when someone asks which way I'm heading, I'm like, Z is going down. It's negative and it's going further down. That's the way that I'm facing. So then also, the level up sound will now play in the new Snapshot every 5th level. So you'll get a cool little ding, like, hey, you just leveled up, bro. Good for you. Also, there is a new block, a new tool that you can use. It's called the Anvil, and it can do some really cool stuff. You can now, using the Anvil, merge let me go ahead and show it off. Merge enchanted items. So here you can see, what this is actually doing is it is repairing an enchanted item. So when you repair this item, it doesn't lose its enchantment. And you can see that it's going to, some of these will cost levels. So now this one is adding these two together to get fortune, what was this one? Efficiency, and then fortune 1 and unbreaking 2. And now it has the efficiency, fortune 1 and unbreaking 2 merged together, and it costs levels down here to do that, which is really, really cool. And now that you've done that, you can keep going with that, and that one cost 46 levels, and now you get, stuff like that. Anyway, Anvil is a really neat tool that can be used very effectively in the future. It'll give you something to do once you've enchanted all your armor and don't have anything to spend levels on anymore. You can now do fun stuff with anvils to really get that Aqua Affinity helmet that you've had that also has protection too on that other helmet you have. Merge them together, get a really, really cool item out of it. What does this block look like in game? Well, you are in luck. It looks like this. It's funny because I actually did take a blacksmithing class like a long time ago. Like we made black, and that does not look like an anvil to me, but it's really hard to get like cylindrical things. But you could see that hitting Bugs Bunny, I guess, or I don't know. Another good thing is that anvils degrade over time. So this is what an anvil looks like when it is degrading. Here we are. You can see it becomes more damaged as you use it, and you can easily tell based off of the texture. It's stuck on a breaking texture that you would see on a block, which is really useful. Just by seeing the anvil, you can tell how degraded it is. Really, really neat. So that is it for Snapshot news, but something else that I wanted to cover was there's a little game, so it's smaller than Minecraft, I hear, called World of Warcraft. Well, apparently, some people who play World of Warcraft, they also play Minecraft, and they decided to rebuild all of World of Warcraft in Minecraft. We've heard of things like people built all of Hogwarts and people blah, 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 blah. Just to give you an idea of how big of a challenge this is, the download file, if you were to go and download it, 24 gigabytes. 24 gigabytes for this download file to check it out. So I have, let me bring up the forum post that they sent out, and then I also have some pictures to show off because holy crap. Here is their forum thread about it. They have a few pictures, but I have some more. They have some Q&As and stuff like that. And let's check out some of these. If you play World of Warcraft, you may recognize some of these locations. Let me see if I recognize any of them. I played as a horde, as a dark elf, and then I also played as a zombie, but I didn't get very far in the zombie. I got much further as a dark elf. Wow, this stuff is just insane. This is called Crafting Azeroth, and it is completely, downloadable. You can check it out. If you want to run this yourself, it requires a bucket server to run, since the map exceeds what Minecraft's height limits are. Then also the world is divided into 7 altitude layers. So you can connect to these altitude layers using a server-side plugin to jump between them. They teleport players across them. Also, it spans approximately 275 square kilometers, not blocks, but kilometers, and contains over 68 billion blocks, all created by hand, at least. This is such an amazing... I'm just going to really... there's so many... This is such an undertaking. It actually... It's funny because it almost sort of puts in perspective... Oh, I think we've seen some of these before. It puts in perspective what Blizzard had to do when they created World of Warcraft. I mean, wow, look at that. Here's some Z-pass renders of everything it looks like. Or maybe these are height limit renders. I am unsure. But wow, that is quite amazing. Good job to you guys. So I wanted to show it off. You can go to our show notes at omgcraft.com/9 because this is the 9th episode, to go to the forum post and check that out yourself. Get playing. Hopefully maybe some of your friends are already putting it on a server, because I don't want to download that 20 I mean, I want to download it, but 24 gigabyte file, it's like, I don't think my hard drive, I think I have, here, we can look right now. How much space does my hard drive have? I have to get to the actual hard drive and hit the information on it. I have 100 gigabytes available, so that'd be a fourth of my available drive space. I'm kind of a hoarder of media, and so like I never clean off drives. Anyway, good to you. Now, on to the main topic of this episode, and that is Rails. Rails are sometimes overlooked as one of the most important parts of Minecraft. One of the first things that people tend to do when they start up a server is they create some sort of teleport functionality, and they kind of usurp the normal walking around trying to get to places. And in fact, on our server that I help run for Twit here, mc.twit.tv, if you want to check it out, we decided that we wanted to sort of downplay teleportation. So people are allowed to teleport to one place, call it their home, but everywhere else they have to get to it by rail, because we felt like this was more vanilla. And this brings in such a fun aspect of the game, because Minecraft really did create these rail systems and tools and rules around how you create rails, because it's a really, really interesting part of the game. So in this week's tutorial, we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of Rail. And I want to thank T2 and Cheeto for, of course, like always, making a wonderful world for me to run through. Me and Cheeto made one, and then T2 is like, what is this? I'm going to have to redo everything. And, of course, he made it 5 times better than we did. So I'm going to go ahead and jump straight on into this world. Here we are. And first, let me just check, just because I don't want, peaceful. That's right. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay, so let's first get into how to craft some rail. Boop, boop, boop. I love that. Okay, so to craft a piece of rail, you're going to put 1 stick in the middle, and your crafting recipe is going to put 6 down the side, and that will give you 16 rail as an output for your troubles. Once you grab that rail, you can place it onto the ground. It fits almost anywhere. I do not believe that it goes upstairs, but it will go up normal blocks. Then, to create a cart which goes on top of rail, you need to create a U shape to create this cart. Now then also, if you want to, we're going to get into this in just a little bit. Oh man, my mouse is all freaking out. If you want to create a cart with a chest in it, all you have to do is put a chest above the cart, and that'll work just like that. I'm going to go ahead and grab that out. Once you have the rail set down on the ground, let me just show you. It's pretty easy. And if you want to curve it, it'll curve pretty much on its own. And say I wanted it to curve that way, I could just break this and break it, that way. It's pretty simple. Throw down a cart, and the way to get it moving is just go ahead and push it if you want. Now, you can also use a furnace inside of a minecart. So let's go ahead, and these are my common household items. I'm just going to go ahead and jump on over. I guess I don't have a crafting table. Let's just use this one and drop a furnace into my minecart. And then when I put that on the ground, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of you. Goodbye. Put that down. Now, you have to use some sort of fuel to get it going. So I'm going to use this charcoal here and just right-click it, and it consumes one of the... Here, let me go ahead and get out of this game mode. Game mode 0. And you can see that it's going to consume a piece of coal and then go on its merry way. And that will allow it to go up in inclines, where before this sort of cart just sort of went up. And if I pushed it far enough, it would go up. But you know, it's not. Go away. And that is just about it for that move and stuff. You can see that T2 has a redstone chest here. It looks a little dangerous, so we're just going to stay out of that one. Now then, you may know that there is such a thing called powered rail. So let me grab some of these ingredients and show off how you create powered rail. You go ahead and place down some gold just like that, and that is your powered rail. It uses the gold ingots on the side. You need a stick, and then you need one piece of redstone at the bottom there to get it. So I'm going to go ahead, and you only get 6 as an output on that. Oh, you know what I was probably supposed to do? I was probably supposed to, anyway, get a torch, but that's fine. So powered rail is interesting because when it's on, you can push a cart and it will go much faster. Now, it will also, well, we'll get to cart slow down, I guess, in a different. But here are the ways to boost it. Either you can push it from behind, or if there is a solid block behind it, it will go ahead and push the cart along. Now, if this was, say, glowstone or something that was not solid like glass, it really wouldn't work. The other thing is you can put it on an incline, and your cart will go ahead right on its way. And yeah, that's about it. Now let's go down here. And let me go ahead and show off that carts will slow down when they are on here. If I was go ahead and break that guy, carts will slow down when they hit unpowered rail, so it will actually slow down and stop. I'm actually gonna go ahead and move this guy out of the way and break you. Of course, no, I can't do that. Darn it. No problem. So let me show off that when I get in a cart, and you can see this contraption, what it's going to do is it's going to power the rail below me, and then because this block here is, it's going to push this cart along. Now, an occupied cart will go very far, but an unoccupied cart will not. And so I'm going to just go ahead and set this off, and you can see that I'm going to go much, much further. Dang you. With one powered rail below me, I'm going to move around 80 blocks ahead, and if that cart hadn't have thrown me off, everything would have been fine. But if you are going at full speed, and we're going to go ahead and push this guy all the way back, actually get rid of you. Goodbye, evil thing. Let's go ahead and throw that there, and throw this guy here. Now at full speed, and this amount of redstone powered rail will allow me to hit full speed, I'm actually going to go a lot more blocks. So let's go ahead and throw this down. Woohoo! There is the unpowered cart, or the unoccupied cart, and it only goes around 18 blocks. But me, after that first powered push, I'm going to actually go around 250 blocks. Now, this is going to take a little bit longer than you would probably want if you were in, say, a server or something, because it goes, and then it kind of, here at the end, it's like, it gets a little painful. You start to realize that really you could just get out and walk faster than this cart is taking you, and you know what, it also gives you some pretty good exercise, and you know that cellulite that's building up on your calves is not looking so pretty, so you'd probably want to get out and just start walking, but really I guess it's already moving, so maybe I should just stay in the cart. And you really realize that, oh, come on, here we go. And so I'm going to get to around, I guess if I really, really wait, I could get all the way up to 250, but I'm an impatient man, so I'm going to go ahead and jump out of that cart and get out of it. It's still inching along. No, it's not. It stopped. Very cool. So a full push will get you around 250 blocks. But really, the most optimized way to do this is to put down a piece of redstone once about, say, every 8 blocks or so. So to go back that 250 meters, it's much easier to take a much more consistent ride down this redstone, down this rail, than doing that initial push and waiting and waiting and waiting. And you can see this is much more user friendly for, say, on a server or things like that. And here we are. We're back. Hey, thank you, Mr. Rail. Now, one thing that I want to point out is this is called the east-south rule, and I may have to get a little bit more rail than this, but yeah, I'm going to switch back into game mode 1. Is that when a cart comes across a rail and it doesn't know which way to decide to go, like right here, where you have a 50-50 option on which way to go, what's going to happen is the cart is going to automatically decide to go either south or east. And in this map, this way is north, this way is south, this way is east, and this way is west. So using this rule, this cart should always head off that way in the southward direction. So if I push it and push it on, there you see that it does go in the southway direction. And this works on the other way. It's not just that it's turning right or left at a intersection. It's going south. So in this way, it's a leftward direction. In this way, it is a rightward direction. Now, I don't know why that glitch just happened. It may have been because I was standing on that block and it decided that a collision occurred and it pushed it back behind me. So let's go ahead and get rid of these and then show off the same thing. You've seen them all head that way. That is the eastward way. And so no matter which way, hopefully, unless if there's some glitch, and this has happened to me twice, just sitting here, it's headed off in the other direction. But it should only go east or south. Another thing to note is that rail can be changed with redstone. So this curved track can be flipped to be the other direction if you want. And this will, of course, override the east-south rule. Another way to override the east-south rule, if you're trying to make, say, a rail station, is go ahead and lower the track that it runs into, because this is the east way, and the only way to get around that is to put down a cart. And now it's going to go downhill, and that works with the other direction as well. So obviously you can see that any way that a track is facing, the redstone will do the opposite if you so desire. Now, a thing to note is that rail, when placed, will automatically decide to face also east and south. So you can see this curved piece is facing east and south, and this one is just curved in the opposite direction. But so if I was to go ahead and build over here where I have some room, something like this, and then which way will it decide? It should be east and south. Exactly like that. Okay, now moving on. I wanted to show off that the junctions, that carts can be dispensed directly onto rail. So you can see that one over there, these guys. It's going to dispense directly onto the rail. Let me see, what is this one doing? Yeah. And then it'll go ahead and push on its way. Now, also, these carts will pick up any type of mob that is available. So it's going to pick up this cat. It's going to pick up, maybe it'll pick up, whoa, did that go back into the dispenser? Did that get popped? So it should pick up this other pig. Now we got this like whole crazy thing going on. Maybe if the pig and the chicken would move, we would get them to also go. Any mob is allowed to go into these mine carts. And now he's pushing all the carts around. Oh, that's great, pig. That's great. You're a real Oh, there we go. I kind of want that chicken to get in, but whatever. I give up. If you are a normal watcher of the show, you may have seen me get very, very surprised when I saw a spider jump into a cart. So yeah, spiders just do that. It's not like a thing that only spiders do. Let me see if I can. Hey chicken. Oh no, did I just lock myself into my own contraption? Oh, that's great. Ha ha ha! I'm smarter than you, chicken. I got out. Finally, there is a thing called a detector rail, and that is created using this recipe here, using a stone pressure plate and some redstone and some iron ingots. And a detector rail will detect the cart on top of it. So if I put down a cart, you can see that it has detected it, and it sends a redstone current down the way, which is really, really useful. Now, let's get into a little bit about rail stations, because using rail in your server is all well and good, but having a really user-friendly rail station is kind of a must, because your users are kind of not going to want to know it if they feel like they have to code their way to the end. So let's go ahead and check out a few tips. One is to use the tip that the back block will always will allow the cart to go forward, and then pressing a button right above it will allow the button to power this block, which then powers this rail right here. So if I hit it, it will go ahead and head off in its other direction. Also, this configuration works if you put the button on this incline. Now then, an interesting way to create a junction that always works is to create this sort of contraption, where you have a detector rail that will allow a cart to come in, and then it stops, and then you can hit the button to decide whether or not you're going to move forward. So this could be a stop along the way to another destination. Say you're coming from a city, there's a stop on the way. If I'm in this cart, I can say, well, do I want to get off at, Street 3, or do I want to keep going up to Street 6? I want to keep going to Street 6, so I'm going to go ahead and, jump out of the cart, of course, and hit this button, which I can't do, and then I will keep going. Just like that. Also, minecarts are stackable. This is kind of a funny, not stackable in your inventory, but stackable as in they will take up room in the world. And you can stack these minecarts up in a tall scenario so that they can dispense automatically. But now that you have dispensers that work on... Those mobs are having a lot of fun. Now that you can... Oh, the chicken finally joined the party. Now that carts are dispensable by dispensers, really that sort of scenario is old-fashioned. This is a really nice contraption to hide all your redstone, and then also hide the fact that this block is going to propel this cart forward. And it just uses a simple redstone line. When the redstone line hits here, the torch inverts it. But then once it is turned off by... sorry, I'm trying to get back over here. My thing. So the button is hitting an inverter, which comes down here. Once this gets inverted, it will power the powered rail on top of this block, and then also power this piston at the same time, allowing the cart to move on its way, just like that, which is a really, really nice function. Finally, I want to get into this destination selector. This is a stackable destination selector, and what I mean by that is you can see this back alley, Chadcraft, a very Cheeto adventure, or Candyland. Let's say I really want to go to Candyland. I can hit this button, and my destination will be moved from these other ones to the correct destination that I want. And let's choose back to Candyland. And it looks like, so here is the way to create this. You're going to put down one line down here, which will reset everything. You have a repeater that powers this piston. And the main function that this works off of is that when you hit the button, it will turn off this. Here, I can actually destroy the Candyland sign. I'm sorry, Candyland sign. I'm gonna destroy you. When you see it, it hits the button and it turns off this torch, which means that this this redstone repeater is also turned off so that it does not power this block, this piston, when it pushes it forward to also light up this awesome redstone lamp. And then if this block isn't getting powered, that means that there's only one back here that isn't doing it. So if I hit this one, you can see that because I turned off that torch, for the amount of time that the block moved forward or moved up, then this is the only one selected. And here we have what most people will do is they will run their lines out to their destination. So if this first one would have been chosen, and let me just show you. Let's go ahead and choose this last one. This block right here is just put here for decorative purposes. There's no reason to. Let's call this Candyland. Candland. I missed the Y. I'm not going to go back and try to get the right. I'm so mad. I'm just destroying all sorts of stuff. So if I chose, let's say, so if you look at it in this configuration where I'm going to Candyland, I'm going to hit this place, and what will happen is the minecart, once it sees this configuration, it's going to continue going straight in this. It's going to ignore the north-south rule because there's only one straightward direction. So it's going to keep going straight. It's going to hit this junction. It's also going to keep going straight. And then it's going to hit this junction and turn off into, this was what we determined was Candyland. If I was to say choose the back alley, my redstone will move. And this has switched now. So I'm going to go ahead. It's going to hit here. I'm going to turn, go to the back alley. In the next one, Chadcraft, I'm going to turn here. But now here's another decision point because the redstone comes out of here to go hopefully power this one. And so now using all this redstone line, I can easily get to another destination. So this works just like that. There is another 16 destination selector, which I'm going to get to in the next redstoning world. And so that uses a really cool sort of logic situation, which allows you to have up to 16 destinations. Now, one thing that I want to point out is that this destination selector is, one, very compact for what it does, and two, is stackable as far as you want it. There may be some glitches, though, because redstone can only move 15 blocks. So once you hit 16 or higher, you could still make a destination selection, but if you went directly from 1 to all the way over to 16, you would have 2 destinations selected because the redstone current wouldn't be able to get all the way down to 16, which is kind of a bummer. So it easily works to 15. Once you get above 15, there can be some minor bugs, but that is not that big of a deal. And that wraps up almost all of Rail. Hopefully you are now a Rail expert. We learned how to craft Rail. We learned where to place blocks to create a moving cart, how to make those powered rails, some behavior of powered rails, and we also learned the southeast rule, and then some really cool destination sort of stuff. Now we are going to get into my top 3 picks of this week, and I am very, very excited. The first one is a mini game. This is, let me make sure I'm saying the name correctly, Goots Golf 27-hole mini golf game. So I have over here, I don't have it installed. Why don't I have it installed? I'm going to have to go install it really, really quick. So, and downloads, and Goots Golf, and open that, and copy that. And now, if you ever wondered how to install saved games, like all the games that I'm doing, I guess let's do a really quick tip. All the games that I'm doing are available, obviously, on our show notes. When you go to the forum post thread, there'll be a download link. When you download that, that'll come in as a zipped file. And what I just did was I unarchived that zip, so now I have a folder. I don't have a zip anymore. And I'm going to go ahead and go into my... this is the download, so I'm going to go ahead and copy this. Copy Goots Golf 1.2.3. And then I'm going to go to my Minecraft folder. And this is different on the Mac or the PC. On the Mac, it's in your library application support Minecraft. On the PC, you have to go to your search menu, type in percent app data percent, and you will see Minecraft there. Now that I'm in here, I'm going to go to my saves area. Go ahead and open that guy up. See, that scares me because that is Goots Golf 2.3. So that is where you would save your file. Then you just open it up in single player. And if all goes well, it should be in here. But of course it's not. Because if you go and look inside this file, there's another file. So Goots Golf is not the same because it is nested within a folder. So this is your saves folder, and it gives you some rules. So I guess let's go ahead and read those guys. How to play. Once you enter the course, you will find a chest of balls in it. Grab a stick. Then head outside, and on your left you will find the practice tee. Try a few strokes here before starting. To shoot, hit your throw item button, normally Q, to throw your ball down the ice. Jump to throw is allowed. Okay, sounds good. Tee off at the green wool. Aim for the holes using the yellow under the yellow wool to advance to the next stage. Red wool is the hole. Sounds good. Any shots that land on wool are in play. Shots land on stone, sandstone, wood, water adds 0.1 to your score, and cool. Looks great. And they also give you some a scorecard if you want to really play with friends. So let's go ahead and copy this. We're going to move it to the let's replace it. Folder contains okay, and then let's delete this. Oh, there you go. Wonderful. So now if we go back, single player, and yeah, we got Goots Golf. There we are. I was afraid that it did not exist. So there is another copy inside of the game. I'm going to choose the snowball. And do I have to grab a stick? No, I just have bottles of enchanting and dirt. Wonderful. You could sleep to make it night. Here's the stick. If any animals get in your way, you know what to do. No, you don't get a stick. I was lie. Take your shot from the wall. Shoot for the holes under the yellow wall. To advance after you pass the yellow movement. Shots on wood are... Okay, got it. Same stuff. Let's keep going. And my game is on peaceful. Wonderful. So I would aim for that. Ooh, there we go. Land on... Wait. Land on wool to in play. Press Q. Oh yeah, of course. I'm actually I'm actually clicking my thing. So let's do this. Oh, yeah, that's right. Hole in one. There we are. Okay, so and then if it lands on the wool, it's in play, or if it hits the stuff, it's fine. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Remember to shoot at targets under yellow wool first. Okay, so here I am. Need to hit the yellow wool first. Looks like the thing is down there, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in there. Where does it go? Where does it go? Where does it go? Where does it go? Oh no, I picked it up. Oh God, I'm a horrible person. Okay, here, let's go back. That's a plus one if you're keeping score. I'm going to drop it. Well, now that I know what I know, I'm going to put it in this one. Wow, that goes way fast. Okay, I should probably stand up here. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, hole in one, hole in one. Heh. That's right. Probably actually not, because I screwed it up the first time. So let's move over here. Let's also turn up the volume. And let me do, I'll do 2 more holes. Par 3, hole 2. Sounds good. Okay, I have to stand back here. I'm going to aim for over here. Yeah. Where is it? Aw. Boo, I chose the wrong one. Okay. Will this bounce? Will it bounce off the thing? Oh, it bounces. What? Okay, so that was my second one. Boop. And let's see if we can just... Yeah. Okay, so that was 3. So I got par. Wonderful. And next... Do. This is funner than playing real mini golf. So some things about this is that this can be played... Ooh, what does that button do? What? Oh no! That made it way more difficult. Okay, well, here we go. So this can be played with multiple people because there are multiple balls to try. So, there you go. Oh, that's the one I got. Okay, where does it go? Duper. No. Oh, that wasn't very good. Okay. So let's choose. I'm gonna have to try to get. So I don't want it to go down there. That would make it way more difficult. I'm gonna try to go past the wool, the blue wool, and yeah. Oh. Okay. What was the par for this one? I missed it. I'm gonna say it was par 3. So that was my 2, and then here is. Ooh, gotta get back. And there we go, par 3. Okay, we will do one more, and then we are going to move on. This is fun. This is actually really fun. And there's skill involved here. Par 3. Okay, so this is kind of how I'm going to be judged based off the hole. See, this is actually... I wish that they wouldn't do so many sneaky stuff. Let's aim for this one. Why not? Oh, no. Really? 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 That's a gimme. That's a gimme. Dang it. Where's it go? Where's it go? I'm doing this all wrong. I'm supposed to take the walkway, but... Okay, where is the Red Bull? Where's the Red Bull? Oh, what? Red Bull is there? Okay. Okay, that's not horrible. Oh, that's kind of nice. There wasn't really an actual way to give it to you. Okay, here we go. And grab it. And Q. I'm going to jump in Q. Really? 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 This is unacceptable. This is an embarrassment. This is ridiculous. Okay, I picked up my ball. Gosh darn it. Fine, I get par. Okay, so this is Goots Golf. I really actually do love this, and fun to play with multiple players, have everyone screw around with everyone else. Let me pick up my ball, and I'm now the drunk person on the field. Oh man. So Goots Golf, go ahead and head on over to our show notes if you want to download that. Next, this is a 2-part thing. What I'm going to show you in this tip today is how to create renders of Minecraft that look an awful lot like these 2 things right here. This one was created by Cheeto. You see the sun coming through, the dynamic lighting through the fence and creates these cool shadows. This next one was also created by Cheeto, and this is actually the first thing that me and him ever made in Minecraft. Look at this dynamic water at the bottom down here. There's, you can see the redstone shimmers off the side of this cobblestone, and the lava glows. And then finally, let me show you something that I made. I accidentally clicked the wrong link. And this was my Halloween render for Twitcraft, the server that I help out on, and is Twit's server. And you can see there's some really interesting stuff going on. There's depth of field here. This cobweb is out of focus, and then this pumpkin right here is really in focus, and then some of the things back here are much more out of focus. There's nice fog, and you can see the sun coming through. So I'm going to show you guys how to make these types of renders. And there is two things that you're going to need. One is you're going to need a saved version of the game that you play. So if you play on a single player world, this is easy. You already play in single player, you have that saved world, no need to do anything else. But if you play on a multiplayer world, it gets a little bit more complicated because you don't have access to those save files, and that's what you're going to need to use and have to run it through the next program, which is tip number 3. So now we're still on tip number 2, and this tip is how to get your multiplayer worlds into a saved game that you can access, that you can go to locally on your machine, which is a little bit more difficult than you may suspect. And the tool that we're going to use to do this is actually very, very simple. It is called World Downloader. Just as it sounds, it does. So you're going to go ahead and download this, and here is the web page that you download it from. And it is just a normal mod, so use whatever modding tool or manually mod it in yourself. Then when you launch it, and I have to go ahead and switch some stuff around to launch it. And here we are. World Downloader, go ahead and log in. So once it launches, it's going to look almost exactly like your normal game. Go ahead and make this full screen. And I'm going to go ahead and join a server that I love a lot. It is the Twitcraft server. So this is my little store. I'm going to go ahead and go back to spawn. Here we are. This is actually from the location right over here that was rendered. You can see the, oh, it looks like someone's destroyed the cobweb that was there. So this is actually what you're going to use. Now, just about everything is the same, except when you hit escape, there is a download this world button. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Hey, capsies. So everyone, of course, is going to try to get into the game. So it says that you can see in the server log that the download has started, which is really nice. There's Silly Chicken. I'm going to definitely run over here to get into my store because I want that. Let's also see, you know what, let's go over here and get the Twit brick house. It looks like we've added a tree in the game. How cool, because it's almost Christmas time, I guess. We're getting ready for what is it, Halloween and Christmas at the same time. Now, one thing that I really want to get is this brick house. So this is where I am right now. Let's actually run over to where I'm standing at the moment. That's crazy that actually exists. There's a tree over there. And and look, here's my desk. And look, here's where we are right now. We're just facing this way, right? This is perfect. So I want all of this. Now what's happening is World Downloader is saving the game into chunks that the computer can access later. So I don't need to do anything special once I'm in this area. Just the fact that it exists and that it is loaded for me while playing the game is enough. And that's all I need. So I'm going to go ahead and go over and hit stop download. it is going to save the world data. And then it says the download stopped, and it saved the single-player world as the IP address of the multiplayer world, which is mc.twit.tv, which is great because that is a usable name. So now I can go ahead and disconnect from this server. And if I go back over to my single-player game, you can see the mc.twit.tv single-player world that has loaded in. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up and show you. It takes a little bit because it's the first time this is opened. It looks like I'm falling into void, but I'm not. And so here is the world that I was just in, except the people are all missing. Looks like it's loading in a few more chunks. For a second, I thought it didn't grab those. But now this is a very lonely place without other people to play in because this is all a single-player world. I have all these people's homes. The trees are going to load in. This is the first time I've ever opened up this world, so of course it's going to load in a little bit slow. And let's go back to Leoville. There's Leoville way off in the corner. But it's just such an empty place, you see. So this is perfect. This is what I'm going to use to render out that file later. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect from there. Now that we have that downloaded, we're going to move on to tip 3. So that was World Downloader. Now we're going to get into a rendering service, and this is called Crunchy. Crunchy is just amazing. What it is going to do is it's going to grab, Chunky, not Crunchy. Crunchy is the type of food that I really want to eat because I'm hungry. Chunky is like the chunks of data in Minecraft. Now, Chunky has a here's the forum post for it, and there is a Windows and Linux download, and then a Mac bundle, and then it has a wiki, and then it also has a really cool subreddit community. So you can go on in there, and it will show off some of the images that people have created. So here's this volcano. Let's go ahead and wait for that to load up. Maybe Imager's being really slow. Here we are. A volcano that was rendered in Chunky. Looks really good. Let's get back to a naturally flooded island. A floating island, I mean to say. These are all rendered in Chunky. So let's go ahead. Once you download it, on the Mac side, it will actually come in as an application. So here it is, Chunky. I'm just going to go ahead and run it. And then it's going to ask for what world that I would like to use to render out of. So if I zoom in, you can see these are my single player world. So I'm going to use this mc.twit.tv. And if I zoom out, I forget if I can zoom out. Zoom out. No, I can't zoom out. You can see that this is everything. Actually, what is this? This is not. What did I make? This is the other world. Quit Chunky. Let's open you up again. I think I chose the wrong one. Yeah, I want mc.twit. There we are. Here we are. This is the world. So there's Leoville. This was the area that I was in before. Over here is the brick house. And the brick house is actually what I want to render right now. So I'm going to go ahead and click the chunks that I want to render. And you can also see really small in there that there is a user icon. So that was where my player was. So I'm going to click all of these guys. And the one beef that I have with Chunky is that you gotta click all of these, and it's just I wish that I could click and drag. So now that I've selected them, let's go ahead and zoom out, and let's go ahead and I guess make this bigger. Woo! Now, there are some options. I can go ahead and change the zoom and the layer and stuff, but we're going to do that in a second step. You can select the chunks, so you can save that selection. You can also change your texture pack. So if you or highlight, this is the highlight of, say, diamond ore or something like that. You can load in a texture pack or use the default. We're just going to use the default for right now. And then you can see this 3D render. There's new scene and load scene. And I'm going to go ahead and create a new scene. So once I hit that, it's going to ask me to save it. That's a great place to save it. Go ahead. And we're going to call this one mc.twit.tv. That works great. I'm going to hit OK. Now that we have created that, it's going to open up another window pane. And this is where all the magic's going to happen. So I'm going to go ahead. You have your canvas size right here. I'm going to go ahead and double it. And let's actually choose, what is it? 1290 by 1080. Is that right? No. What? I forget what. 16:9. That's 2019. What is 16:9 resolution? Someone in chat tell me. There we go. 1920. There we are. I was screwing around with my numbers. 1920 by 1080. There we are. And I'm going to go ahead and set canvas size to that. It's going to be a little bit too big, so I'm going to reposition this because this screen that I'm using right now isn't perfect. And one problem that I have is that it doesn't actually do it in proportion, but that's about a 16:9 thing. And now, once we're in here, you can move around. And this is not exactly like playing Minecraft because it's just rendering out a representation of what's going on. And so I'm hitting the WSD keys to move forward, and I'm just moving forward block by block. I'm actually going to zoom straight in through the ceiling because I know where I'm heading in this building. So I'm getting through the ceiling. Now this is the round table set at the Twit Brick House. And this is definitely running slower than a normal Minecraft game would. Let's get up here. And let's try, this is actually the camera that we're using over here. So let's try to mimic one of the cameras that I use in the shot. And about that. Now, one thing is that I know compositionally wise, I'm going to want to zoom this in. So I'm going to go over to my camera tab. I'm going to field of zoom. I'm going to zoom it in to, it's zooming it out. Let's zoom it in to around 60 because that will mimic what a camera does. And let's move it. There we are. I can actually move forward a frame. There we are. It's about what we do. Then let's say that I want this to focus on something. Now, there's not much to focus on here, so let's go ahead and choose... maybe this isn't the perfect idea, but let's go ahead and choose this back wall back here. Now, there is some crosshairs, but because I'm compressing this so much, it's a little bit hard to tell, and especially on the video, I doubt that it's going to be available for you to see. So I'm going to set those crosshairs on that sign right there. I'm going to hit the autofocus button, and that's going to change the depth of field and the focal offset, and then I'm going to bring the depth of field up a bit so that not everything is out of focus. Now, you might be thinking, hey, dude, this is not rendering that cool stuff that we saw earlier. Well, you are right. And so what we're doing right now is we're setting up the scene, and then it's going to start compressing that all on its own. So we did that. In this situation, there is no sky, but if you were to have a sky, you can load in a sky map and choose a 360-degree sky map. And I actually downloaded some. You can search the internet for your own versions, and they are pretty good. I don't have any here, but because you can't actually see the sky, it doesn't really make a difference in this sort of render. But sky maps make your scenario, your scene, look way better. And then also in lighting, I'm going to want to turn on enable emitters. I'm going to want to crank that way up. Emitters are the glowstone that's over here and these redstone torches. Those are all emitters. And then because I pretty much don't have any sun. Actually, let me see. Wow, it's going to be hard. I'm gonna screw up my composition here so that I can go see where the sun is. There's the sun. I'm going to do the sun yaw. And then the sun pitch. It's going down that way. Let's change the yaw back to over here. There we are. Sorry, it's a little difficult to see. And what I'm going to try to do is get the sun to bring in some light through those windows. So we're going to put the sun way down there. And then we can also change the color. So I'm going to change it to be a yellow or a orange. There we go. Okay, set that. And it's going to change the scene. And I'm going to try to bring up the intensity of the sun. Now, another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and to advanced. Nope, to sky. Here we go. And enable atmosphere and volumetric fog. And that will sort of add a depth to my scene. Zoom back down. Let's reposition the shot. And now we are ready to start out our render. What's going to happen is I'm going to hit start, and I'm going to just go ahead and do it. And my computer is going to sort of melt, you may say, or really freak out. There we go. And it is going to trace in where it believes that light should be going. And it does it in a way that is different than, say, your video card or anything like that. And each of these passes that it does to figure out where light hits and where it's going to bounce and how it's going to interact with the world, each of these is called an SPP. When doing my research, I was unable to find out exactly what that meant. But you can set your target SPP up and down to varying degrees to determine what you want the scene to look like. So right now, we've only done 5 of these passes. It's sample per pixel. Perfect. So each sample is happening here, and it's going to do, on my end, 1,000 samples for every pixel. So I can go over here, and let me show off this. So the SSP target. Now, back on general, I can set some things like save a dump every 500th frame, or I can set my level way up to do that. So it looks like T2 is saying an i7 can do 1 million. I'm unsure. So this is just going to crunch through this, and you can't hear, but this MacBook is really crunching through what is happening on screen. Some things that you can do is you can pause your render. So I'm going to go ahead and hit pause, and it's going to stop it. Now, if I move any of this, it's going to get rid of any of the data that I have created. I'm going to go ahead and save this scene, which means that it will dump out a version of the scene. And then I can come back here later, and because it saved it, it will be able to resume from this state. The other thing I can easily do is hit Save Current Frame down here, and it will print out a JPEG or a PNG. So I'm going to hit it, and then I can name it. So let's name this one MC dash, because this is the 12th frame that it's going dash 12. I'm going to hit Save. So I'm going to go ahead and resume this. It's going to crunch through, and I'm going to show off. I need to now. In order to get to where this is being saved, you need to do a little bit of some hackery. Maybe it's not really hackery. You need to get to a file that's hidden. Normally, these files would be hidden. It would be in your library, or sorry, it would be in your user, and then. Where is it? I forget. But anyway, the way to get to it is to hit down Shift, Command G, and you get what is called a go-to folder. This is on the Mac side. And this is saved. Where is this saved? I'm going to go ahead and cancel. I'm going to jump back over here and find the path that this is saved in. Save new scene. Oh, it already has a new scene. Ooh, crumbs. It's going to say load scene. Nope, cancel. Let's say, I forget where that path is. Anyway, I wish I could find that. Load selected chunks, save chunk, save scene. Open scene directory. There you go. That's much easier. If you go and click this button, load scene, open scene directory, it's going to navigate to the folder that all of this is being saved in. So you don't have to do any weird stuff like I was just talking about. So in here you can see the MC dump, the MC .oc tree and the .cvf. These are the files that is loaded that has all of this data saved into it. And then you can also see the PNG that it created, that it dumped out. So this is a preview of what will be finished once it's all done. Now, I'm going to go and show you what this looks like really when it is all said and done, and based off of the things that I showed you earlier. So if I go into here, go into these other users, and public, and into my public folder. There we are. So this was a test out that I did, and this is at 500. Let me go ahead and open all of you and all of you with preview. There we are. That way you'll be able to see it in all of its glory. There we are. And then go ahead and zoom in a bit. So this was at 500, and this was at 1,000. Now, you may not be able to tell a difference on the video version, so I'm going to go ahead and jump forward to, so you can see if I zoom in here, way over here, this is at 500, and darn it, it doesn't save the well, that's fine. Here we have Leoville when it was at 14. Then this is at 100. This is at 200, 300, 400, 500. So you can see that it's getting smoother. So if I jump back from 500 back to 300, you can see that there is detail that's been added. It's really difficult to tell. Probably in compressed video, you're not going to notice it at all. This is the difference between 1,000 and 400. On the compressed video, I don't believe that you're going to be able to see a difference. But what happens is each time that it runs through that sample, it's going to give you extra definition. And you're not going to see sorts of things like if I zoom in, I'm going to zoom in to this window way up here. You can see that it gets a little bit, noisy. This is at 400. But if I'm at 1,000 and I zoom in to this window, there's a little bit more definition, and it's not quite as noisy in between these two, that one versus this one. So that is if you set your sample per pixel up really, really, really high, it's going to give you a more defined look. And you could go do this an awful lot. From what I've noticed, once I get past 1,000, unless if there is a very low light scene, it's not going to do much to help out my scene to keep going past 1,000. So let's go ahead and jump back over and see where my chunky render is. Looks like we are at 40, and this is what's going on. So I set up those emitters to be really bright because I realized that I was inside, and that was the only thing that the studio was going to have. So I don't know. You tell me. Is this here? Let me get it perfect. And there, and then let me bring this down to actual 16:9 size. Does that look like this at all? Huh? We're getting there. That looks pretty close, I'd say. So I'm actually going to let this run all the way up to 1,000, and then this will be in our show notes for you guys to check out. Once again, this is Chunky, and that's ways to get beautiful renders of Minecraft on your computer. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this episode. That is it. We are done. We'll start off with news. We went through Rails. We got through Chunky. We did some mini golf in the middle, and we are done. If you have a suggestion for me that you would like me to cover on the show, please send me your mail at mail@omgcraft.com. If you want to submit ideas or want to show me images and show other people your Minecraft creations, head on over to the Reddit at reddit.com. And all of the links to everything I've ever talked about or any of my social media stuff is at omgcraft.com. Just head on over there to enjoy all of the things. Huge thanks to Cheeto and T2 for helping me with this episode. And until next time, I will see you on another episode of OMG Craft.